Is your team gonna win in week 1? Well, I think I got the answers, so let's go ahead and dive on into my week 1 predictions. Brief synopsis. Me, Jason, I made picks back in February and March. I also make picks each week alongside my dad, ChatGPT, and Grok. So we'll go ahead and see. Place your bets in the comments down below. Who's gonna be the best this season? And who do you think is gonna win week 1? I respond to all comments, so test me down below. Alright, so we're going to start things off here with the Dallas Cowboys going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. For me, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Philadelphia is going to win. Way too early predictions, I took Philadelphia. My dad took Philadelphia. ChatGPT took Philadelphia. And Grok took Philadelphia. The fun thing with Grok is it'll tell me its confidence in the picks. It's fairly confident. It has a high confidence. There's no doubt about it. Philadelphia is still Philadelphia, especially now that Dallas doesn't have Micah Parsons. It's going to be even worse. Saquon Barkley just going to feast all day. Alright, up next we got the Kansas City Chiefs going to Brazil to take on the Chargers as the home team. This game is yet another game, an international series game. The NFL started this last year with a game down in Brazil, I think it was. And, you know, I don't know how I feel about it. It's a game. Let's just go ahead and make predictions. So, I have Kansas City. Way too early predictions. Jason took the Chargers on this one. Other than that, my dad's taking KC, ChatGPT's taking KC, and Grok is taking KC, but it only has a medium level of confidence in Kansas City. Up next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. This is going to be a fun game to watch. These two teams are going to be going at it for the NFC South all year. I think the NFC South is a wide open case, but who's going to win? Well, I'm taking Tampa Bay. My way too early prediction self took Atlanta. My dad's taking Tampa Bay. ChatGPT's taking Tampa Bay. And Grok has a medium level of confidence in Atlanta pulling out the win on this one. Up next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals going to Cleveland to take on the Browns, and honestly, I don't know how to feel about this. The Browns really haven't been making great moves as of late, especially at quarterback, but Cincinnati has been struggling to take that next step for so long, ever since their Super Bowl run. Getting into the predictions, it's all across the board. I take Cincinnati. My way too early self took Cincinnati. My dad took Cincinnati. ChatGPT took Cincinnati. And Grok, at a high level of confidence, took Cincinnati. Up next, we got two teams that are, they're going to be fighting it out for like middle of the pack this year, I think. The Miami Dolphins going to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. This is one where we have a very interesting scenario. So go ahead and I'm diving on into these predictions. I'm taking Miami on this one. My way too early prediction self took Miami. My dad's taking Miami, and ChatGPT is taking Miami. But in a low confidence move, Grok is taking Indianapolis on this one. He thinks it's going to be a toss-up. Up next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders going to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. This game is going to be a fun one. I am high on New England this year. Do I think they'll be a playoff team? Maybe not. I mean, you guys saw my tier list. I'm bullish on them, but I'm not super bullish on them. I think they're taking the next step, but I don't think they're there just yet. Meanwhile, across the board, we all got New England. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Grok's confidence, though, is low. That is of note. Grok is low confidence on this one, but I'm fairly high confidence. The Raiders, I mean, they have potential, but I just don't know if they're going to live up to it. I just don't know. Up next, we got another easy prediction. The Arizona Cardinals going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Saints have been a complete clown show this offseason. Really, just, there's not really much to be, optimistic of. I'm sorry, but there's not really much for Saints fans to be living on. Like, yeah, we're going to be great. They're not. They don't really have much of a team right now. They're in shambles. So again, across the board, we all have the Arizona Cardinals. Grok is of a medium confidence level on this one. Again, it is a fairly simple prediction in my book. Now we got an interesting one here. The Pittsburgh Steelers going to the New York Jets. A lot of people have this as a pretty open and shut case. Going to be a close game, but the Steelers are going to win it. Well, I don't know about that in our predictions. Way too early predictions and me now both took the Pittsburgh Steelers. My dad took the Steelers and ChatGPT took the Steelers. But Grok is bucking the whole trend, going as a lone wolf, the third of the season already, and taking the New York Jets in a medium confidence pick, which is very intriguing to me considering the way that the consensus is on this game. Up next, we got a fairly easy prediction. The New York Giants going to Washington to take on the Commanders. I'm sorry, Giants fans, you got a lot to be hopeful for. You really do, especially with Jackson Dart. But you're not stopping Washington. You're not going to do anything. Again, across the board, we all have the Washington Commanders, and Grok is of a very high confidence. I think it was like a 70% confidence score on the Commanders winning this one. Up next, we got my adoptive team for the 2025 season. Every year I tend to have a team that I'm very bullish on them. I think this is going to be their year to be good and strong. And this year, it is the Carolina Panthers. They are going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars in week 1. The Jaguars, I don't know how to feel about them. You know, I feel like they have potential, but I feel like they just have not been living up to said potential for years. And what's going to tell me that anything's going to change now? Yeah, Liam Cohen, new head coach, could make a difference, but I'm not sold yet on how that's going to be. Carolina, I have seen improvement consistently after Bryce Young came back from that benching. And that is why both me now and my way too early prediction self took Carolina, but we're lone wolfing it together on this one, as both my dad, ChatGPT, and Grok are taking Jacksonville in this one, with Grok at a medium level of confidence. Up next, we got a very fun one here to watch. The Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward making his debut against the Denver Broncos in Mile High. This game, though, let's be real, the Titans, Cam Ward, I'm very bullish on him. I think he's going to be a good quarterback eventually. I don't know that it's necessarily going to be this year, and it's not going to be against the Broncos. The Broncos have way too much hopium around the whole Mile High area, and really this team, they have those receipts to back it up. They are a fairly solid team after last season, and again, across the board, we all have the Denver Broncos, with Grok noting it's a high confidence pick. Up next, we have mayhaps the most splitting game this week. The San Francisco 49ers going to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Is this year going to be the Niners' revenge, or is it going to be a reality check for a team that thinks that they're going to be good this year? That's the big question of this game. Seattle is going to be Seattle. San Francisco has a lot to live up to. They have a lot to prove. That last year was just a fluke. Looking at our predictions, I right now am taking San Francisco. My way too early prediction self took Seattle. My dad is taking San Francisco. ChatGPT is taking Seattle, and Grok, in a medium confidence move, is taking San Francisco. Moving on now to America's game of the week, the Detroit Lions going to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Will Micah Parsons play? Will he not? We don't know. We know he's going to have to take some shots if he does some epidurals. Not sure how that's going to work, if that will happen, if he will play or not. But either way, even without Micah Parsons, it's going to be a fun game. Though getting into these predictions, I am taking the Green Bay Packers, but my way too early prediction self took the Lions. My dad also taking the Lions, but ChatGPT taking the Packers, and in a low confidence move, Grok is taking the Detroit Lions. All right, now we got the second game I'm looking to watch on Sunday, but I can't because it's not in my market. The Houston Texans going to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. This game going to be fun. This is going to be the start of the Rams season. I am very bullish on this team. I have them as a playoff lock, verging on Super Bowl contender. It's really going to depend on the health of Matthew Stafford. If Stafford is healthy, I have no concerns on this defense. They were really playing well at the end of last year, getting better game by game. The big question mark is going to be Matthew Stafford. If he's healthy, the offense is going to be high-flying. You got Puka Nacua opposite Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams up the gut. What else is there to worry about? You also got Blake Corum, so if, Kyron goes down, you got Blake Corum, a solid running back too in this league. And I think that speaks wonders because this entire group of people over here, all 5 of us, have the Rams winning this. Grok, again, making a medium confidence move on the Rams as well. Now we got the first Sunday night football game of the year. The Baltimore Ravens going to Buffalo to take on the Bills in what is going to be a Sunday night classic. This game is going to be fun, but who's going to win? Let's dive into these picks. I currently am taking the Buffalo Bills. However, my way too early prediction self took the Ravens. Meanwhile, my dad is taking the Bills, ChatGPT is taking the Bills, and Grok is also taking the Bills, but in a low confidence move. And last but not least, we got an interesting one here. People say there's a case for every team in the NFC North. I agree with that sentiment, except for the Bears. I'm not as strong on the Bears. Again, I said it in my tier list video. I just don't think that I think they're going to be the odd team out in the NFC North. And I think they're going to be a couple games out of even contending for the number 1 seed in that division. Not necessarily conference, obviously, but in the division. But we got the Minnesota Vikings going to Chicago to take on the Bears. Man, taking a look at these predictions, I have the Vikings. My way too early prediction self had the Vikings, alongside my dad taking the Vikings and ChatGPT taking the Vikings. But in another low confidence move, similar to the Colts game, similar to the Jets game, we got Grok lone wolfing it by taking the Chicago Bears. What an interesting pick for Grok. Alright, so that is going to do it for my week 1 predictions. If you guys like, don't forget to smash like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments as well down below who you have winning this week. Also, streaming schedule for this week, I am going to be doing live play-by-play, and with it being week 1, I think I'm going to do a streaming bonanza. Thursday Night Football, I'm streaming Dallas at Philly. Sunday in the 1 p.m. slot, it's going to be a Sunday marathon. 1 p.m. we're streaming Steelers-Jets, and that's going to bleed right into 4 p.m. where we're streaming the Lions-Packers. Going to take a little break and then stream the Ravens-Bills. And then again on Monday, we're going to go live for Vikings-Bears. We have a jam-packed week of streaming. I hope you guys will join me. Subscribe and ring the bell if you want to join me. And with that, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.